Lin Xun originally planned to comprehend the A tilde Xiaoming divine R2 apostrophe, but before he could act, his stomach began to growl. Almost at the same time, an indescribable feeling of hunger flooded his body like a tide. Lin Xun didn't care about anything else and hurried into the kitchen to start cooking by himself. It was only at this time that he realized that the sky was completely dark, and it was indeed unbearable that he had not eaten for a day. The kitchen has been renovated, and the enthusiastic villagers sent not only pots and pans, but also pieces of marinated animal meat. Lin Xun cooked a pot of linga rice, cut a pot of animal meat, and squatted in the kitchen to chew. Linga contains warm spiritual power, which is an indispensable food for cultivation. However, for most villagers in Feian village who cannot practice cultivation, linga is money for exchange of materials, which is extremely expensive. For food. As for those beast meats, they are all wild animals in the mountains, which can only satisfy hunger, and are far incomparable to linga. It's just that Lin Xun didn't expect that after eating 3 pots of animal meat and 10 bowls of linga rice, the hunger in his stomach could not be eliminated. This sudden increase in appetite surprised Lin Xun, and he couldn't help but feel a burst of joy. All of this meant that his body had become different from before, and he needed more nutrition to supplement it. The more you eat, the stronger your physique, chi, blood, and spirit. According to legend, the cultivators of the Xiao Empire eat not only abundant spiritual grains, but also spiritual vegetables, spiritual fruits, and even spiritual food. There are some carefully refined medicine pills. As a cultivator, Lin Xun naturally understood this truth. It was only when he was full that he saw that there were only less than half a bag of Spirit Valley and 6 pieces of animal meat left, and he immediately realized a problem. If you eat this way, according to the calculation of 3 meals a day, I am afraid that I need to consume nearly 5 catties of spirit grains and 10 pieces of 3 catties of animal meat in a day. But the key point is that Lin Xun's daily life now depends on the villagers of Feian village for supplies. It's fine for 3 or 5 days. If it is consumed like this for a long time, it will be inappropriate. Without food, it really doesn't work. Lin Xun sighed in his heart. The so-called poor culture is rich in martial arts. Children from poor families have no resources to practice, just the materials needed for practice cannot be afforded by a poor family. And this also fulfills an old saying that the 4 essentials of practice are wealth, companionship, law, and land, and wealth comes first, which shows how important it is to practice. Not only that, the pills, exercises, battle treasures, and equipment needed by cultivators in the future all require huge financial resources to support. Lin Xun is now poor and penniless. Apart from some spiritual materials he has collected, he has no other possessions. Therefore, whether it is to solve the immediate problem or to consider future cultivation, the first thing he has to do is to make money. Of course, in this Feian village, linga and animal meat were equivalent to money. It takes too long to plant linga, and Lin Xun can't wait, so he can only focus on beast meat. Lin Xun knew very well that whenever the farming season was slack, some strong villagers in Feian village would gather together and go hunting in the deep mountains outside the village. In addition to meeting the needs of life, the fur, bones, and flesh and blood of the prey they obtained were not enough. It can also be used as a commodity and is transported to the Qinyang tribe to exchange for a lot of materials. Hunting? You can try it. Lin Xun has secretly decided in his heart that he may not be able to hunt down some powerful beasts with his own means, but it is more than enough to just deal with ordinary beasts. In fact, Lin Xun thought more long-term. If he wants to go to the city of the Xiao Empire in the future, he is destined to be out of money. Deep night. Lin Xun sat in the house to meditate and comprehend, and paragraphs of obscure and mysterious inheritance texts flickered and flowed like a streamer. A tilde Xiaoming divine R2 apostrophe, the method of refining God, is divided into 3 realms: Xing Sun, Moon Change, and Sunshine. The Ming in the name of the practice method means meditation, using the self-consciousness to observe the secret of spiritual refinement, so as to sharpen the soul and strengthen the soul. This is definitely a rare method, because as we all know, in this great world, when it comes to the number and types of cultivation methods, it is absolutely as numerous as a galaxy, as vast as a sea of smoke. But 99% of these exercises are either exercises for cultivating spiritual power or exercises required for combat. There are very few cultivation methods related to soul, and almost all of them are distributed in ancient clan families, which are extremely difficult to find on the market. Generally, this kind of exercise is also called soul secret method, which is a rare thing that every cultivator longs for. The reason is that when the cultivation realm breaks through the true martial realm, spiritual astral realm and spiritual sea realm, and reaches the Dongshan realm, one needs to start cultivating the soul, in order to condense the born will. Only a cultivator who condenses the born will and masters the power of the soul can be regarded as a true Dongshan powerhouse. At that time, only by the power of born will, the cultivators below the heavenly cave realm could be suppressed by trembling, and they could not afford to kneel. However, the Dongshan realm is too high and far, and there is not necessarily one among thousands of people who can reach this realm in this world. Like in the Ziyao Empire, with the power of Dongshanjing, it is enough to stand in the ranks of the top martial arts experts. From this, it can be imagined how important it is to be able to master a soul secret method, which is related to whether or not to successfully advance to the Dongshan realm in the future. And this Xiaming divine art obtained by Lingzun is a secret magic of the soul. Naturally, it can be called a world-class method. It is no exaggeration to say that among all the true martial practitioners in the world, there is absolutely no one who can comprehend and practice the soul secret technique apostrophe. Lingzun has followed Mr. Lu since he was a child, and naturally he is very aware of the value of the soul secret method, even he knows it better than others. Because don't forget, Lingzun has another identity, a spirit pattern apprentice. The seal carving spirit pattern also needs the support of a strong soul force, otherwise it is impossible to accurately control the cooperation between the spirit force, the spirit ink, the seal pen, and the carrier. According to Lingzun's knowledge, the stronger the spirit tattoo artist, the stronger his soul power. There is no doubt. Without too much excitement and emotion, Lingzun began to meditate and comprehend the secret method of the first level of the Xing Sun of Xiaming divine art apostrophe. Xing Sun, as the name suggests, means the cycle of stars. Practitioners take their self-concept as the foundation, visualize the wonderful appearance of the universe is too empty, the stars circulate, and use the star trails as crossings to attract the starlight to temper the soul. When you reach the perfect state of cultivation, with a single thought, the sea of consciousness can be transformed into a vast starry sky, illuminating the stars, allowing the soul to travel within it, not trapped by evil thoughts, not bound by distracting thoughts, and finally concluding the root of the soul. But for Lingzun, he has only just begun to comprehend, and naturally he can't reach that level. This Xiaming divine art does not look at the three realms of Xing Sun, Moon Change and Sunshine, but it can involve the cultivation of the soul. Every realm is mysterious, and its mysteries are infinite, which cannot be achieved overnight. Comprehension is complete. As Lingzun began to comprehend the method of Xing Sun, in his sea of consciousness, a vast night sky was quickly reflected, but the night sky was far away, out of reach, and the stars hanging in the night sky were dim, blurry. This is the image of Xing Sun, and what Lingzun has to do is to observe this image with his id consciousness, and then think and explore. This is called visualization. Visualization is like a mirror, reflecting the self. This is the only way in the world to cultivate the secret method of the soul, but the specific techniques of visualization are different. For example, what Ling Xun visualized in the sea of knowledge at the moment is the image of Xing Sun. When he can use the power of his own soul to light up all the stars in the night sky in the sea of knowledge, it will be called the star. It is Xing Sun complete. The night is silent, the bright moon shines brightly outside the window, the mountains and mountains in the distance are bathed in the brilliance, and the insects and cicadas sing in the vicinity are extremely quiet. In the house, Ling Xun sat cross-legged, with no distractions, quietly contemplating. His slightly pale and delicate face was filled with a quiet and dusty color. Time passed unknowingly, and soon the night passed. The dawn dawned, dispelling the dark night, and shed a bright light on the world. The birds were chirping outside the window, a new day had come. Ling Xun woke up from meditation, he jumped out of bed, he felt refreshed, full of energy, and indescribably refreshing. After a night of practice, although he was not able to light a star in the sea of consciousness, Ling Xun felt that his spirit was much better than before, his eyes and ears became much smarter, and he could even clearly hear the exposed water from the house sliding down the grass. The faint sound of falling to the ground. This is a sign of stronger consciousness. This is even Ling Xun did not expect that only one night of practice can achieve obvious results. It can be seen how extraordinary this Xiaoming divine art is. Pushing open the door and walking into the courtyard, Ling Xun stretched his body and started to practice marching boxing. His blood was boiling and he was sweating. Then he stopped and rinsed with cold well water. Or the body, all of them are full of vigor and energy, as if they have inexhaustible strength. But soon, Ling Xun's body was flooded with a flood of hunger. He couldn't help laughing bitterly. It was indeed worth rejoicing that his body and soul had become stronger, but with it, his appetite doubled. Nothing is perfect in this world. This also made Ling Xun more and more determined, and he had to find time to go hunting in the deep mountains. Otherwise, the villagers' supplies alone would not be able to fill their stomachs at all. After eating, Ling Xun went straight out and went to the villager Zhuzong's house. According to the plan, today is to help Zhuzong's family's spiritual field to get rid of pests. When Ling Xun arrived at Zhuzong's house, he happened to see Zhuzong walking out the door with a long bow and a big knife on his back. "Big brother Zhuzong, what are you going to do?" Ling Xun asked. "Go up the mountain to pick up some medicines for nourishing blood and qi, and hunt by the way." Zhuzong replied casually. Immediately, he noticed that it was Ling Xun who was asking the question, and immediately patted his forehead and shouted, "Why did I forget? I'm going to the field today with little brother Ling Xun to remove worms. Hunt." What a coincidence in this world. A smile appeared on Ling Xun's lips.